And how you guys doing tonight? You understand that the show does get better. You having a good cruise so far? Yes. Say so far because we still have some time left. Don't want to waste any. Got quite a bit of time. Get started right away. As you saw from the video, and as Cece introduced, my name is Ringnald, and I was fortunate enough to be on 2 Olympic teams in gymnastics for the U.S. I'll be talking about that throughout the evening, but for the things I'll be doing here tonight, if you can bear with me for a moment, I've got to get a little more gymnastic-y here for these next few numbers I'll be sharing with you this evening. And if you guys have flash photography, cameras, that stuff does not bother me. So if you see something you find interesting, you're more than welcome to take a shot. Now, I need about 4 exercises to get warmed up for the harder stuff. While I do that, I'm going to give you some insight into the sport of gymnastics. We build our entire gymnastics careers on 3 fundamentals. The first of those is, obviously, flexibility. Very important in the world of gymnastics. Not just for the beauty or the aesthetics of the sport, kind of looks like a pancake all flat in the air, but also for injury prevention. It's very important to be flexible. Can somebody help me up now? What else does it take to be a high-level gymnast? We combine strength and balance. And I'll give an example right here at the edge of the stage. If you guys can do me a favor on this one and help me, as we're going to count to 5 on this one. Oh, bless your hearts, we haven't even started yet. Here we go. 1. Hey, slow down, people. Who will all the way down? Who said 2? Captain's keeping it pretty steady. Got to finish strong, strength, balance all the way down. 4. It's a lot of balance as well, strength. Finish up with 1 more. Here we go, all the way down. And that's the 5. All right. Now, it's my hope, hopefully you will see some things that you do find interesting here tonight, but when you leave here, it's my hope you learn some things about the sport of gymnastics also. So with that said, I'd like you to know that in the world of gymnastics, the world record for holding a handstand is 52 minutes long. I hope you guys are comfortable. Let's see, when I was back in college, this is how we used to dry our socks. Hey, by the way, please do not try anything you see here tonight. Especially if you're 65 or over. With the exception of this next skill. This next skill is my last warm-up skill for this evening, but I encourage all of you to try this, or at least imagine doing this tonight when you lie down to go to bed. Simply go back to your cabin, lay down on your tummy, your bed will be cleaner. Put your hands by your side and imagine rolling up to a handstand, like this. See, I gotta show you again. It's about controlling it all the way down and up. Little word to the wise, if you try that tonight, make sure you're alone when you do that. If someone's watching you, they're gonna laugh at you. No, one thing I do enjoy about doing my own show, now that I'm warmed up now, gives me the opportunity to do some things I normally don't get the chance to do. I'm gonna share a little bit of that with you right now. People, this is it. I know what you're thinking. He's only juggling 3 balls, but how many other Olympic gymnasts have you seen juggle 3 balls? I can tell from a round of silence you guys could pretty much care less. You can break it down just a little bit, Sebastian. Just a little more insight. You can imagine a lot of pressure in gymnastics. I always struggled to get to sleep the night before a major competition. So what I would do to clear my mind and calm my nerves, I would juggle the night before to relax and clear my brain. But since that wasn't that exciting for you guys here tonight, here's something a little more challenging for everybody. People, that is tough. It took me 6 months to master that. So it really means a lot to me like that. Thank you again very, very much. You guys think that's possible? I'll give you some insight. I can do the entire routine without the Velcro, but without the Velcro, the ball flies like 30 feet into the crowd after the back flip. And I want to give you some insight as well. The worst thing that ever happened to me on this number only happened once. Before the show, I put this shirt on inside out. That was a tough night. Got even more gymnastic here this evening that I ripped you off on the juggling trick. And so most of the stuff, and Will, you can go ahead and drop them whenever you like. Most of the stuff you've seen thus far has been like strength and balance, you know, on the ground, getting warmed up. Will, you can go ahead and drop them down. I want to get a little more acrobatic this evening, and I'll pose this question. Who can tell me what these red things are most commonly referred to? Bed sheets for tall, skinny people? I've heard that one. Actually, quite a few people yelled it out. They're most commonly referred to as silks. Now, silks are not a gymnastics event, but the reason I like it is they encompass all the characteristics of gymnastics: strength, flexibility, technique. Yeah, you might know like Cher, Pink, a lot of Britney Spears are using them in concerts now. Thank you very much. So because they're so common now, I want to try something a little different. Instead of just showing you some skills, I'd like to speak throughout this routine, tell you some of the names of the tricks, some of the thoughts that go through my mind while I'm performing, and give you some higher insight to what it's like to be a high-level gymnast. In this case, silk worker. So, you can go ahead and retract that stage when you want. Obviously, folks, this is the smallest size ship I can do, but they got this really cool retraction thing here. So I'm going to pull this back so I have a little more height to go up. And while I do this, I'll just say this. You guys ready for this? Guys, I'm about to work really, really hard. Are you guys ready for this? That's awesome. So the first thing you have to do in work, you can start it whenever you want there, Sebastian. First thing you have to do in working any apparatus, obviously, is get some distance between the floor and yourself. I'll do this kind of unique fashion. This is the upside down, no legs, climbing, kind of looks like this. Get a little altitude. I gotta tell you, yeah, feel free. It's usually around this time on my routine, I like to take kind of a moment and kind of just separate these silks. This is when I generally look in the back of the crowd and all the people with their arms crossed looking at me like they can do this. You can bring it down a little bit, Sebastian, because I know they're not impressed. We're gonna do something harder. Here's something. Throw the volume down a little bit so they can hear me. Can you bring that volume down? This next skill I refer to as a little more risky, a little more uncomfortable. This is the hurts my arms a lot skill. Looks like this. That'll stretch you, people. A dedication specifically to the men in the crowd. One I don't enjoy, but for some reason you guys do. I call this next skill, obviously, the reason I don't have kids. There you go. example of my pain being your pleasure. Actually, I just like that joke. I do have twins. I have 2 2-year-olds. Pretty cool. Alright, moving on to another skill, very appropriately named. Call this the I can't breathe, so if you're going to applaud, you better do it now. If you bear with me, I've got to rest for a second. To the more risky and the more daring of skills, I also replace light bulbs around the ship. Olympic gymnast, not Olympic comedian, all right? I'll be down a little bit lower in one moment. Have to make sure I wrap this up properly. To the hanging by the feet, 2 legs upside down. Now, here's an insight to this skill. You can see there's a tremendous amount of pressure on my feet. My entire body weight is dangling from my feet. As long as I wrap my feet correctly, it doesn't hurt my feet. If I wrap it incorrectly, it really hurts my head. You guys are about 2 seconds behind on that. Getting out of this gracefully, hopefully with a little something. Getting up there like this. And higher, higher, higher. Up. Thank you. Now I'll give you more insight into what a normal day of training is like. Normally you go in the gym around 9 o'clock in the morning, you start with a stretch program, then you do the first 3 events, which for the men is the 4 exercise, pommel horse, and race. You do your routines over and over tens of times trying to perfect them. Then you end with a strength program. Take a break for lunch, come back in the afternoon for another 3-hour workout. It's about 6 hours of training a day. And you start again with stretch routines over and over on the last 3 events, which is the vault, parallel bars, and the high bar for the men. And you end with strength again, all with one goal in mind. And that goal is to make the most difficult skills in the world look as easy as possible. When I got into entertainment, the goal became make the easiest skills look as difficult as possible. People, this is the gymnastics way. This stuff is very difficult, very dangerous. I'll give you an example of just how dangerous this can be. When I was recently in Mexico, performing this very same routine, and I had a bunch of kids come up and start beating me with sticks. You're 2 seconds behind, but you're catching up. I do come from a mixed marriage. My mom is Catholic, my dad is a bat. I'm 10 years old. That's how old I was when I started gymnastics. I was a very hyperactive kid, like a lot of kids you might know, or even have. Now, when I first started the sport of gymnastics, I wasn't used to being upside down so often. I had a major problem with all the blood rushing to my head every time I went upside down. The problem got so bad I had to see a doctor about it. The doctor said he could help some of the blood from rushing to my head, so he prescribed Viagra. That's as risque as I get, all right, people? Because I'm going to boast here a little bit. By now you already know I was fortunate enough to be on 2 Olympic teams. Going back to 1988, I was Seoul, Korea. 1992, Barcelona, Spain. Been lucky enough to be invited to the White House 3 times. Met a couple presidents. Been on 3 world championship teams. A 4-time world medalist. One of those is gold on the high bar. A member of the Olympic Gymnastics Hall of Fame. And more recently, I started making my living wrapping myself in drapery. See how pretty this is, guys? See how pretty? I also moonlight as a coat hanger. So, I have a question for everyone here tonight. Now, I know we have a lot of repeat cruisers. I call you guys professional cruisers. And what they are to me is people that have cruised so often, you're very familiar with a lot of the ships, a lot of the ports of call. You really know how to live it up out here. So don't really got the new cruisers. I know they're having a great time too, but this question is for everybody. The question is, have you guys eaten well so far on your cruise? It's amazing. Not only is the food very, very good, but you can eat anytime you want to. Matter of fact, I had way too much before I came down here tonight. Have you ever seen a man throw down before? That was so delayed, ma'am. Hopefully you won't tonight. First flip I ever did, I was 8 years old. It was my first day of 3rd grade. I was on my bicycle and I was hit by a car. And I've joked around so much by now that no one believes it, but it's a true story for my first flip. Hit right in front of the tire of the car, flew off my bike over the hood of the car. Did 1.5 flips, landed on the concrete on my chin. Broke my chin, broke my jaw, 32 stitches inside out. True story, first flip. My form got better over the years. Alright, here's another one of those tricky, challenging ones. Just bear with me for a moment. Get this all set up. So, where do you think this hurts, people? You guys would be right. I call this a nutcracker not so sweet. If you got your cameras, you can put them away for this one, all right? On a serious note, in the world of gymnastics, if you're successful, you can make a pretty good living through endorsements and the like, and I am very fortunate to be in the middle of negotiations with Johnson & Johnson. Listen to you use your imaginations. Market their new line of dental floss. Getting out of this race, we should look a little something like this. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll jump back up here for a second. So listen, when you get back to your cabin tonight, and you're taking that final shower of the evening, and that shower curtain is sticking on your leg, what you do is you wrap your foot around it. Never mind, people. A little more insight. The silk routine you just witnessed required a fair amount of strength, but truly it was more technical because it was wrapped around my body and my legs. I want to do a shorter sequence on the silks. The reason it's shorter, it demands a lot more strength, very reminiscent to the Iron Cross on the still rings. But also, you can see in my show, it's very physical. So before this next segment, I want to take this moment to sit down and take a little break. You've been very lucky to see these guys do what they do. The band's going to play a quick little song. Folks, give them a hand. I'll see you in just a minute. Take it away, Max. See the girl with the red dress on. She can move it all night long, alright. What I say, that's what I say. Oh, what I say. All the people in every row, make some noise if you like the show, alright. What I say, yeah, that's what I say. Oh, what I say. Little solo now. That you'll be away. You can scream if you'd like to stay. Alright. What I say, I thought so. That's what I say. Oh, what I say. One more now. I hope you make some memories of your time out here at sea. Alright. What I say, that's what I say. Oh, what I say. Sing with me now. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, alright. What I say, that's what I say. Oh, what I say. Now guys, that was actually pretty good. But I know you can do better. We're going to try to give you some energy. I'm going to do one, and then you do one. Let's make it loud. Oh, yeah. Hey, all right. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, all right. What I say, that's what I say. Oh, what I say. Okay, there we go. It gets really hot up here. I can wash those later. You guys are probably wondering why I play piano and sing it all, right? Okay, maybe not. I'll tell you a funny story. I was actually coming to the show in the elevator tonight, and the elevator was packed full of people. And I couldn't help but overhear them all whispering between each other, saying they really hoped the Olympic gymnast was going to sing and play piano. So I kind of... Because I've been doing my own show for well over a decade now. And you guys judge me much less harsh than I'm used to being judged. But you also have your favorite things on ships, whether it's certain parts of the ship or certain ports of call. We all have our favorite things. In my view, my favorite thing is everybody is so good at what they do. If you want to learn something, right here on the ship, it's a great place to do that. I did not know how to play piano over a decade ago when I started doing this. I learned how to play piano from different musicians on different ships around the fleet. Musicians just like these guys. So once again, for the band. Matter of fact, take the night off. Go have a drink on behalf of everyone here. You have to... Oh, they're going to go back and work on silks, he says. That's awesome. A really fun group, guys. It's a nice environment. Right now, though, I want to take some time and just on my own, I want to play a 45-second long song on the piano. But I'd like to dedicate this next song to all the folks I've met so far this cruise at the buffet. There are a lot of you know who you are. It's actually a classic. You should recognize it pretty quickly. It goes something like this. Yesterday, I ate all the food that came my way. Couldn't drag myself from the buffet. And I'm afraid of what I weigh. Suddenly, I'm 2 times the man I used to be. See my belly hanging over me. Now my feet, I cannot see why I ate that pie. I don't know, it's hard to say. Now it's on my thigh and I fear it's there to stay. Just for fun, people. You know, I know people don't follow gymnastics that closely. I got a little, I don't want to stay away from the feedback, but how many, okay, first. Awesome. How many of you guys check out gymnastics at the Olympics? That's awesome. It's this really great gymnastics Olympic sport, right? You get a lot of attention around Olympic time, but you don't really hear about it that much in between those 4 years, really. You know, we're training just as hard. I use this example because I think it really personifies it very well. So as I promised you, this is going to be quite something. You know what? I'm going to cheat here a little bit because I don't think this can be done. So I'm going to make a deal with you on this one because it is much more challenging and hard. And the deal I'm going to make, you can run that dramatic music whenever you're there, Sebastian. You're good. So, and I'm going to swing back a little forward, so don't worry about that. But the deal is, the higher I go, the louder you get. The higher I go. Is that all you got? Hey guys, there's no more room on my arms. Speaking of my arms, you're probably thinking this is killing them, be wrapped up so tight, right? To be honest, I can't feel my arms at all. You got your cameras out there? A little photo opportunity? I have an impression for everyone here tonight. This is my impression of a ceiling fan. That's actually my favorite one. Believe it or not now, guys, I'm actually 49 years old. That means that means I come from Generation X. This is an X, people. A lot of people ask me why I do this, so I can show them a very stretched out why. This is a why, folks. You guys having a good time tonight? Yeah! So you're being fantastic. I do consider myself very lucky to do what I love to do to make a living. Actually, for the next few days, I'll be hanging around the ship. That's so cheesy. You will see me around the ship. If you have any questions about gymnastics or the Olympics, I love talking about the sport. I will miss this when I can no longer do it, so I'll do it as long as I can. Also, in the shops, you should know I have a DVD available that will teach you everything you see me do. Okay, I don't. Real quick, who can tell me how many times I rolled up here this evening?
4.
It's really important when I roll down. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm right on the edge. I don't know exactly how I'm gonna get out of this, so we'll see. Help me count as we unwind. It goes
1, 2, 3, 4.
And we'll do this. Oh yes, we cheated it. That's it. Oh, sorry. You know, in rehearsal, truly, we didn't really figure this out, so I had to make some adjustments. And I'm trying to give you the most height I can, folks, in the distance, so we did pretty well. Don't you think? Yeah. All right, cool. Awesome. Good. Thank you very much, Will. I want to stick with this theme because I know a lot of people don't follow gymnastics too closely, except around Olympic time. That's why I like to give you guys so much insight into the sport. There are a lot of very glamorous things about becoming an Olympic gymnast. Think about it. We get to travel around the world, representing our respective countries. The sport of gymnastics keeps in pretty good physical shape. The title of Olympian in many Olympic sports, very well respected. But the process of becoming an Olympic gymnast, it's not all glamour. We're in the gym every single day, constantly falling, trying to perfect the most difficult skills in the world. Now, because I can't do that, I can't take you into a gym to show you that process. What I've done is put together a short little video, and we can drop that down. I'll get it away for you too. This video will show you some of the not so glamorous moments of gymnastics. The next couple numbers I do will be very visual. They'll be in the dark. You'll understand when you see that. Until that moment, enjoy these not so glamorous moments. Now take just a moment and I'll see you in just a minute. You guys need to understand something. You know, I'm not all of them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm 3 of them. My humility only goes so far. So you can imagine a little more insight. For 16 years, I was lucky enough to compete at a pretty high level in gymnastics. But very much like kind of a childhood actor. When I retired from competition, I didn't know what to do with my free time. I was always used to having that challenge of trying to become better than the gymnasts that were better than me, or learning that next big skill that would take me over the top, make me better. So when I retired from competition, I had to fill that void of a challenge with something. And I did. I got really obsessed with piano and music. I love writing and recording my own pieces of music. Also got very obsessed with juggling, because it's very much like gymnastics. You start with the basics, you perfect them, and you build higher difficulty on those basics, that foundation. I used to not speak before this number, but I want to tell you what to look for. What I've done is written and recorded my own piece of music. Now I'm going to do a juggling routine to this music. Oh, thank you very much. This is the blue sound. Red sound. Put them together. Green sound. I'm going to put it in the mix. Change rhythm. Thank you all very, very much. And I'm very glad you like that routine. I want to tell you why specifically that routine. I want to make a comparison between competition and performance. You can imagine, in competition, if you make a mistake, you lose medals, bursts on Olympic and world championship teams, finances, a lot of pressure. If you make a mistake up here on the stage, I crack a joke about it, we all laugh, and the show goes on. When I do this juggling routine, because it's done exactly in time with the music, I can't cover up a mistake with the joke, so I get very nervous. Glad you guys like it. Thank you very much. All right. All right, I've got a couple more numbers I want to share with you just to finish up. Now, the next form of entertainment I can only do when the ship is calm. And because it's a smaller ship, I didn't know if I was able to do it. A lot of people don't find this next art that entertaining, but when I explain the methods that are used to do this, you'll have a much higher appreciation of what really entails in this next art. This is, of course, the art of sword swallowing. And that's a response it always gets, because I think it's misunderstood. It's about repressing the gag reflex. Now the ship is so calm, I can actually do a pretty original interpretation. So with no further ado, let me just demonstrate this routine, then we'll talk about the methods and make it feel a little more comfortable. So Sebastian, whenever you're ready. I'm really glad you guys like that. You guys think I'm crazy? $9 online. You can be as tricky as me. Takes no skill. I just like it, it's cute. A little more insight. I want to tell you the worst thing that ever happened to me. The first time I did this number is I went to pick up the sword, raveled up just like that, killed the whole number. But you know, the most fun thing about that number to me, really, is listening to the first 3 and 4 rows going, ooh, ah. So, all right, we can retract this stage once again. I've got one final number I'd like to share with you, and I think the stage will be okay, Dave. We'll make the best of it, it's fine. The reason this next number is so challenging for me, because very much like the juggling routine, you can drop them down, Will, whenever you're ready. How the juggling routine went exactly in time with the music. Well, this routine, this silk routine, should go exactly in time with the music that I've spliced together. I didn't write this music, but I spliced it all together to follow a theme. Now, you know that what I'm thinking through a lot of these skills already. I'm going to repeat quite a few of the same skills. Thank you, Will. I'm going to do quite a few different ones as well. And folks, you've been a lot of fun. A lot of people, if you were in here before the show, sitting in the theater, you'd have seen on the big screen some information about me. So a lot of people may know already, but I'm actually a mnemonist. That means I can commit extremely large pieces of information to memory in a very short time. I compete in memory competitions. I say that to preface it at 3:30. When you come back from Belize, I'll be doing a memory improvement seminar. Not to be over dwelling on it, but it changed my life. I could really improve your memory. It's a lot of fun. We go into depth, we do some things together. And I understand that most of the people that need to be there will probably forget to go. And I know I joke around a lot. It's just by nature, but it's a true thing. Everything I just said is very true. Belize Day at 3:30 in Boleros. I'll be there for a memory improvement seminar. Really interesting stuff. So thanks again for coming out, folks. I look forward to seeing you around the ship. You will see me. I won't be in spandex, but you'll see me. All right, with no further ado, no procrastination, let's give this a shot. All right, sit back. blast. It's been my pleasure.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're making it out for Lance Ringnald. Come on, let me hear you, ladies and gentlemen. Lance Ringnald. One more time. Come on, put your hands together for the talented, incredible Lance Ringnald. Yes. Thank you. There we go. And the Empress of the Seas Orchestra. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you walk out, we're going to go into our captain's reception.
Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to keep these videos coming. You can also follow me on Facebook. The link is in the description below.